For over 100 years, every time you've sat behind the wheel of a motor vehicle, your life has been literally on the line, a hydraulic line. Since Malcolm Lowhead patented the first hydraulic brake system in 1918, the automotive industry has been stuck in a liquid state evolution. We have seen engines go from steam to petrol to electricity. We have seen wood frames turn into carbon fiber. But the way we stop has remained stubbornly, almost primitive, the same. We have built an entire global infrastructure of mechanics, chemical plants, and spare parts suppliers dedicated to one thing: maintaining the pressure of a column of oil. We've accepted the flaws of this 20th century legacy as if they were laws of nature. We accept that brake fluid is hygroscopic, that it breathes in water from the atmosphere, slowly poisoning itself and corroding the very lines meant to protect us. We accept the spongy pedal, the brake fade on a mountain pass, and the messy, toxic reality of fluid changes every 2 years. But why? Why? In an era where we can land rockets vertically and simulate entire universes in silicon, are we still relying on pushing oil through a rubber hose to keep our families safe? As we move through 2026, the answer is finally here, and it's not coming from the traditional boardrooms of Detroit, Wolfsburg, or Toyota City. It's coming from a brand that many in the West are only just beginning to fear: Exeed, the premium vanguard of the Chery Group. The car you see here, the Exeed EX7, the production evolution of the Sterra ET project, represents more than just a new model launch. It is the official death certificate of the hydraulic era. This is the world's first mass-produced vehicle to successfully implement a purely electronic mechanical braking (EMB) system. By draining the car of its hydraulic lifeblood, Exeed hasn't just improved the car, they've fundamentally changed the DNA of what a vehicle is. We are moving from the age of pressure to the age of logic. And the implications for the global auto industry are nothing short of catastrophic for the old guard. To understand the sheer audacity of the Exeed EX7, we have to look at what's missing under the bonnet. If you were to open the front compartment of any other SUV, even a high-end Tesla or a Porsche Taycan, you would find a master cylinder, a vacuum booster, and a reservoir filled with DOT-4 fluid. In the EX7, that space is empty. There is no fluid. There are no hoses. There are no seals to perish or lines to leak. Instead, Chery, in a strategic masterstroke with the German engineering giant ZF, has moved the entire braking Vorlieben intelligence to the wheel hubs themselves. This is what we call dry brake-by-wire. But don't confuse this with the semi-dry systems we've seen in some recent hybrids. This is the real deal: electromechanical braking, EMB. Each wheel on the EX7 is equipped with an independent, high-torque electric actuator integrated directly into the brake caliper. When you press the pedal, you aren't moving a piston. You are generating a digital command. This signal travels at the speed of light through a redundant, high-speed data bus to the 4 corners of the car within milliseconds, less than 90 to be precise. The electric motors inside the calipers clamp the pads onto the discs with a force and precision that no hydraulic pump could ever hope to replicate. Think about the physics here. In a hydraulic system, the lag is inherent. Fluid has to travel, pressure has to build, and mechanical components have to take up the slack. Even in the most advanced sports cars, there is a delay between your intent and the car's response. In the EX7, that delay is functionally zero. The car begins to decelerate before your foot has even reached the floor. This fiber optic seal response time is a game changer for safety. At 70 Fnm, a 90 millisecond faster response time can shorten your stopping distance by several meters. The difference between a heart-pounding close call and a multi-car pileup. But it's not just about the stop. It's about the feel. Because the pedal is now a digital haptic interface, the EX7 software can tune the braking experience. Want a firm, short travel pedal for a spirited drive through a canyon? It's a software update. Want a soft, progressive feel for smooth city commuting. It's a setting in the menu. The car adapts to you, rather than you having to adapt to the physical limitations of the oil. This is the ultimate no-maintenance brake. No more bleeding the lines, no more worrying about pedal drop during heavy use, and no more environmental guilt from disposing of toxic chemicals. The EX7 has replaced a century of mechanical vulnerability with a few lines of indestructible code. If the EMB system is the muscle esprit of the EX7, then the Flying Fish Chassis 3.0 is its brain. We have to stop thinking of cars as a collection of separate systems, engine, brakes, suspension, and start seeing them as a unified digital organism. This is where the EX7 truly leaves the European establishment behind. Traditional manufacturers are trapped by their supply chains. They buy brakes from one company, dampers from another, and software from a third. The result is a car that is always arguing with itself. Chery's approach is different. The Flying Fish architecture is a centralized intelligence model. The roof-mounted LiDAR isn't just for self-driving. It is the primary sensory input for the chassis. As you drive, the LiDAR scans the terrain ahead 1,000 times per second, creating a high-resolution 3D map of every speed bump, pothole, and expansion joint. This data is fed into the same processor that controls the EMB brakes and the air suspension. Before your tires even make contact with a road imperfection, the car has already calculated the necessary damping rate and adjusted the torque at each wheel to compensate. It's predictive engineering. This is how a 5-meter-long, 2.5-ton luxury SUV can move with the agility of a predator. You've likely seen the viral footage of the EX7 performing its 360-degree tank turn. While many dismiss this as a social media party trick, they are missing the point. The tank turn is a demonstration of absolute, independent wheel control. Because the EX7 uses 4 high-performance electric motors, it can rotate its wheels in opposite directions with millimeter precision. This isn't just about spinning in circles. It's about torque vectoring on a level that defies traditional mechanics. In a high-speed corner, the car can apply tiny amounts of negative torque, braking, and positive torque, acceleration, to individual wheels to pull the nose of the car into the apex. It eliminates understeer, not by fighting the laws of physics, but by working with them in real time. This level of integration is why the Flying Fish name is so appropriate. The car seems to glide over the tarmac, decoupled from the harshness of the road, while maintaining a level of grip and responsiveness that makes a Range Rover or a BMW X7 feel ponderous and analog. We are witnessing the shift from passive mechanics to active logic, and the result is a driving experience that is as smooth as a private jet and as sharp as a surgical instrument. The Basti range anxiety narrative has been used as a shield by traditional manufacturers to protect their internal combustion engines. They told us that electric cars were only for city dwellers, and that if you wanted to travel across a continent, you needed the security of a petrol tank. The Exeed EX7 has officially dismantled that shield by offering 2 distinct but equally revolutionary powertrains. Chery is meeting the consumer exactly where they are, without asking for a single compromise. Let's look at the BEV, battery electric vehicle version first. It utilizes a state-of-the-art 97.6 kWh battery pack with ultra-high energy density. This isn't just a big battery, it's a smart battery. It's part of an 800V high-voltage platform that allows for lightning-fast charging, adding hundreds of kilometers of range in the time it takes to buy a coffee. With a certified range of 727 kilometers. The EX7 BEV is already in the top 1% of EVs globally. For 95% of the population, this is more range than they will ever need in a single day. But for the remaining 5%, the Bow Road warriors, the cross-continental travelers, and those living in areas where charging infrastructure is still a dream, Exeed offers the eRev, extended range electric vehicle. This is where the genius of Chinese pragmatism shines. The EX7 EREV uses a highly efficient 1.5-liter turbo engine, a masterpiece of thermal efficiency, but it never touches the wheels. It acts purely as a high-output, onboard power station. This configuration allows the EX7 to smash the 1,000-kilometer range barrier. This is the ultimate bridge to the future. You get the silent, instantaneous torque of an electric drive. You get the regenerative braking and the low center of gravity. But you also get the freedom of the pump. You can drive from London to the south of France or across the Australian outback with the absolute certainty that you can refuel in minutes at any station. It's a zero-compromise solution that makes traditional hybrids look like half-baked transitions. Chery has understood that the world isn't ready for a 100% electric switch overnight. So they've built a car that is future-proof for both today's reality and tomorrow's potential. We have to address the elephant in the room, the perceived gap between Chinese brands and European luxury. For a generation, we've been told that premium is a German word, that only Mercedes, BMW, and Audi know how to craft a cabin that truly feels expensive. The Exeed EX7 is a reality check for the entire continent of Europe. This isn't just a car with nice features. It is a masterclass in sensory luxury. Inside the cabin, the attention to detail is staggering. We are talking about 23 speakers delivering a 1000W panoramic soundstage that rivals a high-end home cinema. We are talking about Napa leather seats that don't just massage, but use AI to detect your stress levels and adjust the hot stone therapy accordingly. The air you breathe is filtered through a medical-grade purification system that removes 99% of allergens and pollutants. But the real luxury isn't the leather or the sound, it's the silence. Because the EX7 has no hydraulic pumps, no vibrating engine mounts in the BV, and uses double-glazed acoustic glass, the cabin is one of the quietest places on Earth. At 70 Mastima, you can whisper to your passengers and be heard perfectly. But why is Chery able to offer this level of quality at a price point that makes a Tesla Model Y look like a budget option? It comes down to vertical integration. Unlike the European giants, who are integrators of other people's technology, Chery owns the patents. They own the software stacks. They build their own batteries and their own motors. They don't have to pay a luxury tax to outside suppliers for every sensor and chip. This allows them to include Level 3 autonomous driving and LiDAR sensors as standard equipment, while Mercedes is still charging thousands for basic driver assistance packages. The EX7 is the manifestation of a new global hierarchy. It's a car that has outthought, out-engineered, and outpriced the traditional elite. It has drained the oil of the past to make room for the digital blood of the future. The traditional manufacturers are now facing a Kodak moment. They are so invested in the old way of building cars, the mechanical way, the hydraulic way, that they cannot see the digital wall they are about to hit. The era of the analog machine is over. The era of the unified digital organism is here. And the Exeed EX7 is the apex predator of this new world. Thank you for watching Drive and RPM. If you want to stay ahead of the curve and understand the technology that is actually shifting the tectonic plates of the automotive world, not just the marketing slogans, make sure you are subscribed. The revolution is happening now, and it doesn't need a single drop of oil to stop. We'll see you in the next one. SEO and metadata. Drive and RPM Inglés.